What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You have reached the Part of My Presence YouTube channel. I'm here to discuss Demarcus Cousins and the situation that he finds himself in. And I can almost guarantee that a lot of brothers find themselves in the same situation, or a lot of men rather find themselves in this situation. Okay, now I just want to give you some of the backstory here, okay? Demarcus Cousins has a son with a woman that he's no longer with. If I'm not mistaken, that woman is in Alabama, and Demarcus Cousins is an NBA player who resides in Los Angeles currently, and is a member of the Lakers. Okay, now as everybody knows, people who are involved in professional sports, they travel a lot. He plays 82 games a season. Half those games are in visiting teams or visiting locations, so he's always traveling. So he's not able to provide a grounded lifestyle for a child, and he's not able to be with the child day in, day out, to take the child to school. As a result of his type of profession, he's not able to get full-time custody of his son. Now this happens a lot, okay? When you're involved in a profession that you have to travel a lot, you can't make the case to say, I want to have my son with me at the minimum 40% of the time. And I'm pretty sure this woman is not an athlete, is not someone who has to travel for their work. They might not even have a job, who knows, but they're able to provide 100% care and to provide all of the things: stable home, roots in the community, connection to the school and the neighborhood, to provide full-time custody and the life that a child needs according to the eyes of the law. So as a result, people like Demarcus Cousins don't have custody or control over how their kids are raised, or how many times a month, a week, or a year they could spend with the child. Okay, I've heard cases where some men are allowed to only spend or only see their son 12 days a month, okay, or sometimes even less. And those days, you have to have supervised visits. Okay, so a lot of this is the background to Demarcus Cousins. Okay, now to add on top of that, Demarcus Cousins is a man who, although he failed in love with this particular relationship, he has moved on. He's found another woman, a woman that he loves dearly, from what I imagine, and is planning on marrying this woman. Okay, and who better to have by your side than your own son from a previous relationship, to let him know that this is how two people, when they love each other, how they act, to show your son how the interaction between a man and woman should be, to show your son the pinnacle of a great relationship and what marriage is all about, and to also show your son, and have your son experience one of the happiest times of his father's life. Of course, he's going to want his son to be with him on his wedding day, to show him how it's done right. You'd think that the mother of the child would say, you know what, this is a very important day for you. Your son should be involved. I understand that it might not be your arrangement to have the child, but I'll let you have him. And he'll pay for all of the travel arrangements, all the expenses, and have him there. Unfortunately, based on the law, she does not have to do that. Okay, and this is the problem. Whoever has full custody, they don't have to do anything that is not required in the eyes of the law. And a lot of times these women will hold grudges, especially if the father has moved on and they haven't. Okay, if the father is doing well and they are not, or they're dependent on that father to provide with alimony or child support, then they're going to try to stick it to the father every chance they get, unless the father decides to kiss ass. Okay, and if they don't kiss ass, then they're going to make sure that every chance they get, they're going to make that man suffer, especially if they know this is important to him. And as you can tell, she knew it was important to him. Why? Because she had the conversation recorded. And in that conversation, I guess Demarcus Cousins got fed up and he decided to say something really, really reckless. He said that, I'm not playing with you, I'm gonna put a bullet in your head. Now, let me be straight up. Is that uncalled for? Hell yeah. Is it wrong? Hell yeah. Are there any excuses for what he did? Hell no. Demarcus Cousins is 100% to blame. Let me repeat that. Demarcus Cousins is 100% to blame for the situation that he is in. So what the hell do I mean by that? Let me expound. Let me explain. Okay? Everything that happens in your life, it's your fault. Okay? It's your life, your choices. There might be some influence on your choices, but at the end of the day, it's your choice. You gotta have some accountability over what you've done, what you've caused, the predicament that you find yourself in. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Demarcus Cousins has a history of wilding out. He's known as a hothead in the NBA. Okay, he's had numerous ejections. He's had a lot of confrontations with referees. He has what people would call a poor attitude. Okay, as someone who is hot-headed, someone who regularly makes decisions based off emotions, and a lot of times those decisions are irrational decisions, it's very easy to predict the behavior of someone who acts upon emotions. And if there's one thing that a woman, especially a woman who is considered a quote-unquote baby mama, the one thing that they know how to do is to manipulate and push buttons. And I guarantee you, she knew that he was gonna do something like this, and she knew that, and as a result, she had the conversations recorded. And the words that came out of his mouth was something I'm pretty sure he said before, but she didn't catch it on recordings before. And this is something that she was anticipating, and that's why the calls were recorded. So I need to explain this to people. When you're dealing with a woman, especially a woman who you have a child with that you're no longer together with, you need to make sure that you make all moves based on logical thinking. And you have to make sure you understand that these women are there to make sure that you fuck up. It's the bottom line. They're there to make sure that you fuck up. And when you fuck up, they're gonna make you pay for it, okay? And I'm gonna tell you this right now. You cannot let women trick you out of your position. You're an NBA player making millions of dollars. You're a man about to get married, you've moved on with your life. You should not let a woman from your past destroy your career or have the ability to destroy your career. You do not give a woman like that so much power as he's done. Okay? You have to assume if you've had a tumultuous relationship with the mother of your child, you have to assume that she's recording. Okay? I'm gonna explain to you why. Okay? I'm gonna give you an example. If someone were to have a child with a woman, and that woman and them, they end up breaking up, they end up splitting apart, they separate, and now the woman wants custody. If the woman gets full custody, that man is on the hook for $900. Now this is an example, so hear me out, okay? That man's on the hook for $900 a month for child support. Now, if you don't know, child support is tax-free for the recipient, meaning that if a woman is getting $900 a month, okay, that is not considered income, that's taxable. It is free money for them, okay? They could be jobless, unemployed for a whole year, getting $900 a month, $9 pays for everything, all of one of their expenses. At the end of the year, their income tax is going to be zero. They are unemployed, they made nothing. That money is not considered as income. Okay? But for you, as the person who's paying the child support, you cannot write off that expense from your income that you made in that year. Okay? On top of that, it's not taken based on your net income, it's based on your gross income. Okay? And it's not tax deductible. Okay? However, as the man or as the person who's paying the child support, if you decide and get shared custody, that shared custody is when you have shared responsibility of the child. You have equal rights in making decisions about where the child lives, how they're raised, what schools they go to, how they're taken care of health-wise. Okay, all of those things you have control over as well. You share that control with the other parent, and you have to be able to take care of the child at least minimum 40% of the time. Now, if you are able to do that, guess how much you're paying a month? Now, this is in the case where you make more. Okay, and a lot of times the men do make more. Okay, because if the men make less, the women are not taking the child support, they're not taking the court. Okay, but again, if you made more than the woman, it goes from $900 and not having much rights to see your child at all or have any input on how they're raised to $50. $900 to $50. Now, in a case where it's that much of a disparity, you tell me, is it in the woman's best interest for you to get the child 40% of the time and they get $50? Or for you not to have the child at all and they get $900 a month, like clockwork, and have you on the hook? And them knowing that you pay $900 is going to irk you to high heavens. What do you think the woman is going to choose? What would anybody choose? You'd want $900. Putting that in your bank account, going on vacations and whatnot, you want the $900. So as a result of that setup, it's in a woman's best interest to make sure that you never get shared custody. Okay? It's in their best interest for you not to have a good relationship with the child. It's in their best interest to make sure that the relationship that you have with your child is ruined or make it to look like you're unstable. It's in their interest to make it look like you are abusive. It's in their best interest to make you look like the evil person that's ever crossed the face of this earth. Okay, so if you understand that, if you understand how the system works and how it's in the woman's advantage to X you out and box you out of your child's life, then you can understand what the woman is trying to do. And you could learn how to be defensive as far as not allowing her to put you in that negative light. So you don't engage, assume that you're being recorded, you never yell, you never lay hands on her, you never lay hands on your child, because all those things will come back to haunt you. And they're doing that not because they really care about their child's welfare or they care about making sure that your child has a good relationship with their father. What they care about is solidifying that $900 monthly like clockwork. Okay, and if you understand that, what happened to Demarcus Cousins will not happen to you. Okay, for starters, you won't have a job where you travel back and forth for 82 games. Okay, you have a stable 9-to-5 job where no one can ever say that you cannot provide a stable environment for your children. Okay, on top of that, you're going to be a role model. You're going to be someone who is a pillar in that society, in that neighborhood, where she can never slander and smear your reputation. Okay, and if she ever tries to get you heated, if she ever tries to get you riled up, You walk away. If she is saying something through text message that you feel like responding to, you can type it away. Type how you feel. Put it in another app, notes. Do not send a text message. Okay? Wait till the next day. You look at what you wrote and you decide whether or not you want to send that message and blow shit up. Okay? Think. Do not be a Demarcus Cousins. Do not be someone who gets tricked out of their position. Okay? And even though Demarcus suffered an injury, and he's probably on edges and pins and needles, and this happens, you gotta think, man. You gotta think. Be wise. Don't let them trick you out of your position. And for all of the men who say, well, the law needs to change. The law needs to change. It's not fair for men. Men have it the wrong way, or men have it the hardest. Let me explain something to you. If men have it the hardest. I understand that men have it the hardest and the law is all messed up. But let me tell you something that what someone told me, okay? This is almost like I want to compare this to tax avoidance versus tax evasion, okay? Tax avoidance versus tax evasion. What's the difference? Only one is illegal. The other is legal, but it's the exact same concept. How do I make sure I don't pay the government any money for taxes? That is the concept, okay? But one's legal, one's illegal, but it does the exact same thing. It leads to the exact same outcome, okay? And guess what? If they change the tax laws, guess what's gonna happen? They're not gonna change their method of how they do tax avoidance to make sure they don't fall into the category of tax evasion. Now, I say that to say this. Learn the law. Learn family court. Learn the things that you can or cannot do. Learn what's involved in your custody and the stipulations. Learn to put certain fail-safes into your stipulations as far as your custody arrangement, your parenting plan, all of these different things, even your prenup, if you want to do that, if you want to get married. Learn the law and make sure you use the law to your advantage, because that's not illegal. That's being wise and learning from other people's mistakes and learning how to insulate yourself from attacks from women, because they are going to come. Okay, so when you hear about Demarcus Cousins and his situation, yes, a lot of people want to lash out at women and say they're evil, they're bad, baby mamas are no good. All that may be true, but still, even in knowing all of that, the predicament that you find yourself in is 100% your fault. You need to ask yourself, what did I do to put myself in this situation where a woman could trick me out of my position? Where a woman could take away everything that I've worked for? I'm gonna tell you right now, Demarcus Cousins gave that shit to her on a silver platter. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. She put him in jail. Those child support payments don't stop. They don't cease because he's in jail. If he goes to jail, those payments don't cease because the child's alive. The child's still living. Those payments are required. When he gets out of jail, he has to pay that. He has to pay that. I'll tell you this right now. If when you put a man in jail, he doesn't have to pay child support, okay, where it's not deferred, it's something that is taken away because he has no income. If that were the case, she never would have went to the police with this information. But the fact that she's going to get her money regardless, whether he could actually afford to pay it or not, or whether or not he's taken away from the job that gives him the money, the fact that the police and the family law and the courts still require that man to pay child support even though he's in jail, locked up, taken away from society, that is the reason why women will do things like that. Learn the law. Learn what you can and cannot do. Stay within the confines of the law and don't get tricked out of your position. I'm pretty sure Demarcus Cousins had an attorney on his side, friends on his side, family members on his side to tell him that. But we all know he's a hothead. Let's hope he learns from this. But better than that, let's hope you learn from this. This is the Pardon My Presence YouTube channel. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.